All right, I'm gonna make another video. Let's make this a really fun video, okay? I'm gonna call this the supernatural in the Bible or something to that effect. It's a pretty awesome study, and there's a lot more than I can cover. And for that, I would simply say, in context, so to speak, of this video, study Ezekiel chapter 1. Okay, God Himself came to this earth with His throne aboard a vehicle, a circular vehicle that was the color of amber, it says in there, but in the Hebrew it's highly polished bronze or highly polished spectrum metal. And let's get into this other aspect that I'm going to cover here and think about the supernatural, okay? And this I'm going to read it from the Hebrew the second time. I don't have the Strongs up, but that's fine. Make this fun. And think in the supernatural beings, angels, whatever you want to call them. God the Father Himself. Psalms 82 verse 1. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. That's not what the Hebrew says. The Hebrew says, Elohim, God the Father, creator of all things, creator of all the other Elohim, standeth in the congregation of the El. This word mighty is translated from the word El. It's the shortened form of Elohim. He judgeth among the Elohim. God the Father is Elohim, and His children in the supernatural are also Elohim. There's only one God the Father, creator of all things. I'll throw that in there. I don't want somebody to try to say that I'm saying there's more than one God. And for that, I would say I'm going to give you a lot of meat in the Old Testament. Where you see this word gods in lowercase, you got to ask yourself, is it talking about idols that they carved out of what they saw, supernatural beings? Or is it talking about supernatural deities or beings? Some equate them to angels, but angels is a different word. And I've covered this before, but I figured I'd throw this one at the beginning just to make it pretty fun. Let's continue on here. 2 Kings chapter 2 verse 11. And it came to pass as they still went on and talked, Elijah and Elisha, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire and horses of fire, and parted them both asunder. And Elijah, Elijah in the Hebrew, went up by a whirlwind into heaven. And Elisha saw it, and he cried, my father, the chariot of Israel and the horsemen thereof. And he saw him no more, and he took hold of his own clothes and rent them in two pieces. What were these chariots of fire and horses of fire? Just like in the book of Ezekiel, they were probably highly polished bronze or highly polished spectrum metal. You mean angels don't have wings? Of course they don't have wings. That's man's teaching. Supernatural beings look just like us. They're men or man in supernatural form. If you want to equate them to angels, that's fine, but angels are a totally different Hebrew word. I believe that all the lowercase G-O-D-S, gods, Elohim in the Hebrew, is all inclusive, whether they're angels or, which is malachim, or cherubs or cherubim in the Hebrew, or cherubim, properly said. But the point of this video, this fun video, I'm trying to make it fun, is that the supernatural, even God Himself, utilizes a method of transportation. And again, read Ezekiel chapter 1 and draw a picture of what is being described there. Remember, amber should be translated highly polished bronze or spectrum metal. 2 Kings chapter 6, and when, verse 15, and when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, and hosts compassed the city both with horses and chariots. These are real, literal flesh man chariots and horses. And his servant said unto him, Alas, my master, how shall we do? What are we going to do? Verse 16, and he answered, Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. Verse 17, and Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. He couldn't see above them. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha. And again, the supernatural utilizes vehicles that are way more advanced than we can ever think possible. Are there UFOs? Perhaps. Perhaps. Are there alien beings from other worlds? I don't know. It seems like an awful waste of space if there isn't. So what do people see? Because people see these things. I saw something one night years ago that I couldn't explain. Just vanished. It was there and then it vanished out of sight. It wasn't natural. Oh, well, what are these things? Are they the method of transportation by the supernatural, perhaps? Are they hidden technology that those truly in power, that even the president ain't allowed to know about, have? Because there's technology out there that we have that is way more advanced than they're going to let us know. And I'm not talking about the government either. I'm talking about the true powers in this world, because the government is not the true power. I don't really want to get into that, but the quicker you realize that, the better off you're going to be. So, but let's get back to I tend to talk too much. Let's get back to the point here. The supernatural utilizes vehicles that are way more advanced than anything we think we have. Let's put it that way. Verse 18, and when they came down to him, Elijah prayed unto the Lord and said, Smite this people. Don't read over that. They came down to him, I pray thee, with blindness, and he smote them with blindness according to the word of Elisha. Zechariah 1, verse 8. There's more to this, but I'm just going to go do the topic of the video. Verse 8, I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse, and he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom, and behind him were their red horses, speckled and white. Then said I, O Lord, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, delivering a message. Angels are messengers, by the way. Malakim in the Hebrew, or Malach, which is actually derived from the word Melech, which means king, but that's too deep. I will show thee what these be. Verse 10, and the man that stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, These are they whom the Lord, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, hath sent to walk to and fro through the earth. Verse 11, and they answered the angel of the Lord that stood among the myrtle trees and said, We have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still and is at rest. See, these are supernatural vehicles as well. Keep right on a going here. Zechariah chapter 6, and I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains. Chariots between 2 mountains? Supernatural vehicles utilized by the supernatural. And the mountains were mountains of brass. In the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot black horses. In the third chariot white horses, and in the fourth chariot gristled and bay horses. Then I answered and said unto the angel that talked with me, What are these, my Lord? And the angel answered and said unto me, These are the 4 spirits of the heavens, which go forth from standing before the Lord of all the earth. The black horses which are therein go forth into the north country, and the white go forth after them. And the grisled go forth toward the south country, and the bay went forth and sought to go that they might walk to and fro through the earth. And he said, get ye hence, walk to and fro through the earth. So they walked to and fro through the earth. Verse 8, then cried he upon me and spake unto me, saying, Behold, these that go toward the north country have quieted my spirit in the north country. Horses and chariots, many times in the Bible, are referring to the method of transportation utilized by the supernatural. And the context of the passage will indicate what it is. Joel chapter 2. This one gets even more interesting. The appearance of verse 4, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. This is the locust army mentioned in Revelation chapter 9. And I'm not going to get into all that right now. We're going to make this a fun video. Verse 5, not that the Bible, any part of the Bible isn't fun and interesting and fascinating, because every word of it is fascinating. All you got to do is take the time to study it. A little bit here, a little bit there. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap. Equate this to the fallen angels that are going to be cast out of heaven with Satan. It'll make more sense. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Verse 6, before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. They're going to be deceived. That's what blackness is, by the fallen angels, as well as Satan himself, who will claim to be the Lord Jesus Christ. And Christians will fall right for it and worship him. I know that upsets people when I say that, but that's what the Bible says. Verse 7, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Very organized. Verse 8, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Because they are supernatural, you can't kill them. That's why. But the point of this video is, at the first part of this, is horses and as horsemen. The noise of chariots. Chariots and horses are symbolic or representative of the method of transportation utilized by the supernatural. Angels do not have wings. That's a lie. Angels are young in the Bible every time they appear, like when they appeared with Lot. Remember, they all wanted to have relations with those angels because they were beautiful to look upon. They didn't have wings, is the point. One more passage here. Psalm 68 verse 17. The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. Too many to number is what that's what that means. Thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. God the Father came to this earth in a supernatural vehicle that was referred to as the color of amber, but in the Strongs it's highly polished bronze or highly polished spectrum metal. He had his throne upon that craft. And again, go read Ezekiel chapter 1 and get more insight into this reality. It's pretty awesome stuff. And let's conclude it by going back to what I talked about earlier. Is there highly advanced technology that human beings are not aware of, made by human beings, reverse engineered from stuff that crashed? I think absolutely 100% yes. Just based on a lot of stuff that I've researched over the years, I think absolutely we do. Does the supernatural realm utilize highly advanced methods of transportation? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Are there aliens from other planets that have visited Earth with highly advanced method of transportation? I think so, yeah. But within that is one verse in the book of Colossians, whether God created all things, whether they be in heaven above or on the earth, whether they be powers or principalities or a couple other things. I don't have that verse brought up here, but all things were created by God. If there are other life forms on other planets, God the Father created them. It's really that simple. And this is just a fascinating topic for me, and I absolutely enjoy it a lot.